We're going to have our guest speaker first. See, screaming helps, doesn't it? Because Tonya needs to leave. And then after that, we will talk about some of the other stuff we want to talk about, including Ray has a sign-up sheet for the Salvation Army, bell ringing, and all kinds of stuff like that. So don't leave just because Tanya's finished. Okay. So I have a nice bio here to read you about our guest speaker, Tonya Chastain, who is the Lawrence County Tourism Director. She began serving in that position 8 years ago, and Tonya is very involved in the county. She's a director on both Bedford and Mitchell's Chamber of Commerce, and she serves on the Lawrence County Fair Board, Radius of Indiana Tourism Committee, Bedford Revitalization. She's the vice president of Southern Indiana Explore, the vice president of the Mitchell Chamber of Commerce, and a past board member of Indiana Artisans. She's an active member of Phi Beta Psi sorority, Friends of Spring Mill, which that's one of the places Tonya and I know each other from, and serves on the committee for the 75th 2022 Mitchell Persimmon Festival. In 2018, while serving as tourism director, Tonya aimed to bring attention to the historic Williams-covered bridge during the county's bicentennial. To celebrate, she began the yearly tradition of serving dinner on the bridge. The event is an important part of the Williams community, bringing more than 300 people. And if you have not ever done that, you should, because it's very fun. Previously, Tonya was employed by Spring Mill Inn, Spring Mill State Park, serving as director of sales for 16 years. Prior to working at Spring Mill, she worked in Bloomington in the hotel and catering business. Tonya is a graduate of Vincennes University, where she earned an associate's degree in sales and marketing, and she is a lifelong resident of Lawrence County. Tonya's main goal is to get people excited about visiting Lawrence County. She wants to share her love and knowledge of this area to bring visitors from inside and outside of the state of Indiana and promote Hoosier hospitality. Please join me in welcoming our speaker, Tonya Chastain.
So thank you for having me today, and I just want to share with you, a lot of folks really don't understand what tourism does for the county and the things that we do in the area. I brought a packet for you to take home with you, just a few things. I just put some surprises in there for you. So I'll kind of go through those with you, but just to let you know, our goal at tourism, there's only two of us in the office, myself and my partner is Katie Fultz. And she does most of our online items, things like that, the calendar, keeping social media and those things up to date for us, which is an everyday hour job. Because we can do something today, an hour ago, and by the time I get back to the office, it's already changed. So, and one little item in that post can change everything. So you have to be very cautious, do a lot of checking. Our office for tourism is located at the corner of 6th and Main, and I believe it's probably been there, I'm going to say 20 years at least, 20 years. Used to be the old PSI Public Service Building. So that building was purchased with dollars that was raised through tourism. And how tourism is funded and how we raise our money and how it works is if you stay in a local hotel here in Lawrence County, spend the night, you would pay your room rate, your 7% sales tax, and a 5% room tax fee. That 5% room tax fee then is funneled through to the Lawrence County Treasurer's Office, and that's how our office is funded each year, is through that tourism tax. So you can imagine when 2020, and I remember the date very well, March 16th, my husband was still working at Crane, he's retired now. He called me from work and said, hey, I'm coming home and I don't know when I'm going back. And I'm thinking, is it really that bad? So I spent the next 3 days looking at my whole marketing plan thinking, what are we going to do here? Because if this is how it's starting, I'm sure it's going to snowball. And we need to look at things differently because the hotels are not going to be full. They could even be closed. So we took a whole different approach. In about 5 days, I halted most of our marketing because I knew I would not be having the income come in. So that's really helped us a lot here for the hotels because with totally thinking outside the box, we had to think of new ways to get people out and about, get them to still drive to come to Lawrence County. And even though COVID was happening, you could still get outside, enjoy the parks, the trails, and we are blessed, very blessed, to have really nice facilities. People don't even realize how many little pocket parks are around Lawrence County and what equipment is at those parks. So we focused on those. We got in the car. I've been in every little inch of this county and probably some places I shouldn't have been. But we took pictures to get all that information out to people to let them know what we had here to offer. So we're kind of taking that same approach still today yet, really, because if you would have told me this a year ago, I would have laughed. There's no hotel rooms in Lawrence County right now. And do you know why? The expansion at Lehigh. And so when I met with the Lehigh plant about a year and a half ago, I remember the plant manager at the time, he said, now Tonya, by the end of 2021, you should see a big influx of folks and you won't be able to find a hotel room within 30 miles of here. I didn't think that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm seeing that now. Our phone rings with family reunions or a group that wants to come stay, say, at Spring Mill, spend the weekend. There are no rooms, even on the weekends, because a lot of them are staying over. So we've seen a big influx of folks coming in, and they're staying a long term. Now, that golden egg's not going to stay golden for long, year and a half, maybe 2 years at the most. So we really need to focus on what we want to accomplish in that time frame. There are some of the things that we've maybe not been able to do in the past because of funding. So we're looking at different things as one of our plans is to make a video of Lawrence County of things to go and do and see. So that will be professionally done. That we'll kick that off in January, start working on that. And then hopefully we can take that video and share it with other locations, public TV service, WTIU, that kind of thing, and just keep Lawrence County in the forefront and keep it people seeing that ad and things like that. We also plan to do some different other informational type things. I'm a firm believer that the 4th grade class studies Indiana history, and I need to be in all those 4th grade classes. I used to be able to do that. When COVID hit, kind of changed it. So hopefully we're getting out of that and we'll be able to go back into the school system. We take the kids pamphlets, information. I normally take them all the leftover state maps, and they love that. It's just like this big present to them. One of the tricks is you got to learn how to fold a map first. So, but what we've run into there is the last map the state produced was in 2020. So my pile is dwindling, but we also have another map that's available throughout. Is available in our office, and it's called a See Indiana map. And it's the kids really enjoy that map because it's the state of Indiana, but it will have like a tree where the state parks are located. It may have a log house for a memorial or something like that. And the kids really can relate to that better when they see all those little characters on the map, and then they can go to the diagram or the index and figure out what that actually is. So we still try to provide them with state maps, and hopefully we'll be able to get back into the school and share more Lawrence County history with them. One of the things that myself and Katie did this past year, we worked every Monday and Tuesday at Spring Mill in the village. And we mainly were stationed in the mill because they did not have enough employees. And so therefore the mill would be shut down. So we decided as tourism, we're going to see people there. We can tell people about Lawrence County right there. So we took turns. She'd go one day and I'd go the next. And it really brought a lot of things to light for us because we always asked people, where are you from? And we kept our tally each time. I didn't see very many Lawrence County people. So we take for granted what's in our own backyard. And so that's where I have said to my board, we need to get in front of these young kids and make them aware of what's in Lawrence County and keep the astronaut history alive, I have to be the one to do that. So that's a big push for us this next year, is to do different things for the kids. We did a kites day around Earth Day at Spring Mill this past summer, or it was in April. We plan on doing that again. It was a terrible day out. The weather was really chilly, but we had a good turnout, and those kids were from everywhere, because we send not only our information out here locally, but it goes out statewide. We usually try to go around a 2 to 3 hour location of Lawrence County. We also do another neat thing. I have a marketing firm that I actually work with out of Fishers, and it's kind of creepy, I think, but it works. You know how your phone is listening all the time? So, for example, a Persimmon Festival, we put on recipes, we put those out digitally through like Martha's Living, Martha Stewart's Home Living magazine, website, Rachel Ray, that kind of thing. So say you went into Fresh Time in north side of Indy, and they may have persimmons there, but of course they're not like we have here. But our ad would pop up about Lawrence County, because it's just really neat how that works. So I have people say, well, I never see those. Well, no, you're not going to see those around here because you're used to it. You know about it. It's the other where we try to, the target markets that we hit with that, and it really does work. This past year in September, I answered the phone one day. It was around lunchtime. I was there in the office by myself, and this lady was from Oklahoma, and she wanted to know how she could get persimmon pulp. So I put her in touch with Apple Acres, and they'll ship and that kind of stuff. Well, come to find out, she is a instructor for hearth cooking, and she had ran into one of my little 30-second spots about persimmons, and she picked up on it, followed the website to the website, got her phone number, called us, and she's kind of become a friend now. You know, she wants the festival book, and she wants to come next year, and she would like to do open hearth cooking demonstration at the park, which fits in great in the village. So it's just kind of neat how things like that happen, and it's just all because, and we just always ask that question, how'd you hear about us? Where did you see our ad? How did you get that information? So it's kind of interesting. Just to give you some ideas of some other things, we take care of any events that come into the county. We make sure they're given information. So for example, like this weekend's a huge weekend in Lawrence County. You have Fantasia, you have the Christmas Around the Square, the parade, Spring Mill in the Village, Christmas in the Village, and then a brand new event, which I brought you a flyer about, is Christmas in the Campground. And several state parks have done this, and they all do it differently. The tourism, Friends of Spring Mill, and Friends of the Campground are working together on this project. And so the park manager, Mark Young, was gracious enough to offer us 60 campsites. Those are free campsites to anyone who wanted to come stay and decorate their campsite. So it'll be a $3 to drive through and drive in the campground. So that's one of our new events that we have this year for Christmas. So I think that'll be good. We're in the process of working with a group, a music fest. It's actually coming from the Bean Blossom area. Will hopefully be in Lawrence County this June. Could bring in 3,000 to 5,000 people for a weekend, and that will be held at the rec park. I should know about that probably in a couple weeks. Probably some things you don't think about, but we do open goat shows. We do open rabbit shows. All those kind of things that's involved with 4-H. Those things take place at the fairgrounds, and they do bring a lot of people into the community. Dance competitions, the Mitchell Chamber of Commerce, as we said earlier in my bio, the 2022 will be the 75th Persimmon Festival, and so the Mitchell Chamber is the host to the state conference for the State Festival Association, and that will be held at Spring Mill. And then we have other special events that we're looking at to work with Indiana University, and you probably say, well, there's plenty of rooms in Bloomington. Yes. But in Bloomington, they put a 2-night or 3-night minimum on those rooms, and they charge $300 and $400 a night. So folks have gotten smart, and we can drive 30 minutes south. We don't have to stay 2 nights, but the room rate is a little bit higher, and so we get a lot of IU business. and that's especially like graduation weekend. And when we just put online, I'm sure you're all aware of the new Hampton. That's 88 rooms, and their first weekend was Ohio State played IU, and that hotel was packed with Buckeyes, let me tell you. They were everywhere. So it's interesting to see that, and we want to work with, we also work with Monroe County's tourism so that we can work partners together and be able to have rooms for everyone. One of our winter project is, when we did the bicentennial here in the county, we had the quilt trail brochure. Well, now that's really kind of growing. Instead of 3 pages, it's probably going to be more like 7 pages. So we're going to try to make that larger, better pictures, and give them more detail, because a lot of people come into our office, they've heard about the quilt trail from another county, and they found out we have one by our website, so they want to take that brochure. So we want to update that and get that going. And like I said, other things that we do, we partner with the Grissom Home and help keep that open on the weekends during the summer months. But one thing that I do this I just brought this to show you. It's my media plan, and I do one of these every month. And so we sit down, we have calendars from, well, ever since I've been there, because I kind of like just to keep my calendars, and I can go back and tell you what I did, in 2018. This year or this day, but we keep that because that kind of helps us see what's happening in the county and what's a repeat, and maybe if it's not a repeat, we kind of, well, what was the problem, why didn't it continue? But we actually have our total plan right here for social media all put together, so I already have it all planned out, ready to go. And we do this about the last week of each month. We prepare for the next month, but we're always looking for information. And I stress this every time I speak with a group is, if you have an event, whether it be, just your group, like for example, your fish fry, we want to know that. And you can drop us an email, you can call the office, we'll get that put on our calendar, and that just kind of helps everyone know that if you have family or friends coming to town, what's available this weekend and what would be going on. So we like to keep our calendar up to date. Some of the things with our campaigns that we do, like we do I do certain things with Google AdWords, and they target special markets, so you're not really going to see those here. But just to compare, and we're comparing things back to 2019 because we don't even want to talk about 2020 because there's nothing to compare really. We had over a 19.4% increase over 2019 for this year so far. So I hope to see that a little bit higher. Also, we had to date about 5,800 brand new people coming to our website. And we look at that like how long they stay on the website and how many pages they view. We also look at what they view. For example, most of them is things to do. It will be parks or hiking, trails, and caves. Those are probably your top things that people want to come to Lawrence County to see and to do. And I don't know if you're familiar with Blue Springs, but they've added a new adventure at Blue Springs. They're closed now for the season, but you can go now as a group and you can kayak through the cave. No, thank you, but you can. And I think the max number is 14 that they can take on any one trip, and they're always sold out. So, and they haven't started them back because of COVID, but when we do travel shows, it's amazing, the little kids that walk by and they'll see that picture of Blue Springs. I've been there, and I always say to them, did you spend the night there? Because most Boy Scout and Girl Scout groups have been to Blue Springs and spent the night in the cave. Yeah. There's a room that's opened up and it has bunks in it and things like that, and yeah, like I said, no thank you. I do well to get in the boat and go through it. Yeah. Several years ago, actually before I came to tourism, they did some videos for Persimmon Festival, and they're about 30 seconds long. And this year, it was amazing how many people viewed those videos. Was about right at 775,000 folks viewed those videos in a 4-week time period, and they watched the entire video 100%. They didn't stop halfway through. They watched it all the way. Just from those videos, we had a target audience of about 1.9 million people and about 4,000 clicks from that video to our website to find out more about what Persimmons was all about. So usually when I speak to groups, especially not here in Lawrence County, I tell them that I'm from the county that is known for astronauts, limestone, and persimmons. And so then they can kind of relate and figure out where we're at. And you're probably wondering why I don't talk a lot about the limestone. The problem is I can't really take you there and show you any of it. I can't get into a quarry. I can't get into a mill, mainly because of liability and the insurances and things like that. When I first started tourism, and bless her heart, Judy Elliott, oh, what a jewel. But my tours would fill up like in hours because everybody had heard how good they were and where you get to go and those kind of things, but those days are over. So the main thing we try to do is, in the month of June is Limestone Month, and with that we try to take you to other places here in the county to show you the limestone. Lehigh's been gracious enough to let us come out there, and we go by bus, so it gives people it lets people be able to see the different use of limestone, how we use it here in Bedford as it's going out in slabs, how they're crushing it down to this little piece, and what happens to it, once it goes through the clinker and through the kilns and things. So we still talk a lot about limestone, and probably one of our most attended things would be our tours in the cemetery, to go there. And and I'll say to people, have you, the stone that looks like a workbench, and they don't know what I'm talking about, but it was a stone carver, and he went home, left his workbench, went home, had a heart attack and died. His friends at the mill decided they wanted to make his memorial, and so it's his actual workbench. And it's done very well. Very good, yes. So what I brought with me today is I brought you the flyer for the campground, so if you'd like to take that back, put it up in your businesses. I know it's going to be happening here tomorrow and Saturday. You've got that. The Gristmill Gazette is something that we do in partnership with Spring Mill. This comes out quarterly. It has just different things that the naturalists are doing, different ads, talks about the hotel, gives you the timings and things when things are open, and what events they have scheduled. Our visitor's guide, we print this each year, 50,000 of these. We have a great map in the center. Probably this is what flies out of my office the most, this and county maps. And I have to be really careful with county maps because if I put out too many, they're gone, just like that. The county map's not been updated for several years, but it's still a very good tool because it lists all of the streets in the county. So if you ever need one of those, stop by my office or give me a call and I'll see to it that we put one in the mail for you. But our visitor's guide, we also have a page for events and things like that, so you kind of know what's happening each month. We also have dining, shopping, all the things that you would need if you're staying in the area. So this is a very helpful piece that we pass out. When we go to travel shows, we pass these out. We are part of a group that goes to Cincinnati, Louisville, and Indianapolis travel shows each year. And then I do a couple more that's just independent of those travel shows, a little bit smaller. We go and pass out information on Lawrence County. We designed a couple postcards in our office, and so I brought you a couple of those that you could take home. Maybe someone that lives away from here, and just give them a little pick-me-up, send them a postcard. And then, as we talked earlier in my bio about the Williams Bridge, that's a fun event, and if you've never done that, you need to do it. We will do it again in 2022. It will be the second Saturday of September. That's kind of when we started. I'm a firm believer if you keep something at the same time each year, same date, same weekend, it will continue to grow. When you start changing things, people start forgetting you. So this was one of our little giveaways that we had at the bridge this year, so I thought you all would like that. And then we have one with Spring Mill on it. So they're cork coasters. And also my business card is in there. And if you would like to be on our mailing list, we send out a Friday flyer, which is pretty local, of events that's going on. And then we send out a monthly one. And in that monthly one is also a blog. At the end of that blog could be about shopping. We did one with all of the boutiques, that kind of thing. We've done one scavenger hunt for Lawrence County. We did that back during COVID because just to get people aware and out and about to go see different things. But that would be included on the monthly newsletter. But just email us and we'll get you added to our newsletter. It'll come straight to your email box. So, anyone have any questions? Yes.
The Land of Limestone exhibit that was at the Old Stone Gate building in the Pine Street. I had heard, I don't know if they found a place to put that yet. I had heard years ago they would put it in the renovated rail depot, but what's the update on
Okay,
that?
so the pictures that are at the depot were a gift to the city from Dr. Stuckey. Those pictures of limestone pictures that are there. The actual Land of Limestone that was at Stonegate North, that was all preserved. We went in, tourism went in, we did videos of everything so we know what was there, but the city actually had Johnny Signs come and remove everything, so it's all still intact, it's in good shape. And then it's my understanding that eventually that will be made into a brand new display and go into the new Stonegate.
Okay.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Do you have any plans of moving to your office to Bedford? I had heard that rumor a few years ago.
No one has said anything to me.
Oh,
No, not recently anyway.
all right.
Yeah. Yes.
I was wondering if, people are still using the Blue Jacket Trail, if that's
Yes, they are.
still a thing.
It's still a thing. We still keep the trail map there in the lobby. It's in our 24-hour lobby.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a 24-hour lobby at our office, and it's full of all the brochures, trail maps, that kind of thing, and it does get a lot of use.
Does it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's
I'll tell you something else that gets a lot of use, and people don't even know that it exists, is the geocache. If you were to look at a map in the Tunnelton area, Larry Bennett, a retired school teacher from Mitchell, he did a lot of the work, but the geocache is in the form of a spaceship capsule, space capsule. So if you were to look at a map, and we get people all the time, and we have one at our office, and you're like, they come in and they're standing, they look at us like, help us, and we know exactly what they're doing. They're looking for that cache, and it's hidden there in one of the drawers, but a lot of people still do that. Yes. And something else I forgot. Yes.
I do want to thank you for coming.
Well-
You've been very informative.
Well, thank you.
Have you thought about, or have you ever worked with the Derby in Louisville to try to tap into some of that tourism from Louisville?
No, we have not.
Because at one time, I think a lot of the people that are going to the Derby went to French Lick as an example.
Right,
years
exactly.
ago.
Yeah.
But looks like to me that might be a source of some future.
That might be.
tourism.
Okay, that's something we can check into. Yeah, and it might be a partnership we could make with them, for rooms and things like that. Yes. We also do a grant program, and we do that in every January and every June. So, for example, like an event at the rec park, the parades here in Bedford, the clubs, the Rabbit Club, they applied for a grant to host and help pay for the judges and things like that. They were putting the judges up in the local hotels. So we try to look at that and issue out grants each year. And that's, like I said, in January, you'll see that come out. If you know of a group that's having an event, have them apply. We had, the Bedford Half Marathon, they usually apply for a grant. The Softball Association, when they have the overnights and all the tournaments, we try to help them out as well. Yeah. So we try to give back to the groups that, they're bringing folks into the county. Yes.
I just want to say, first of all, you and Katie do a great job.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. But one of the big surprises of mine this year that I had not noticed in previous years of running a little lodging establishment is the number of people who are finding Bedford through YouTube video bloggers.
That's right.
And I wondered if you had an idea who all those people are who are out there without even naming Lawrence County, I don't think, but they're selling Lawrence County.
They sell Lawrence County just through their videos.
Through their own business.
Yep.
And a big one is the antique store up here that isn't even open most of the time. But she'll have like a 3-day pop-up shop, and here come all these people. I mean, I've had my place, you know? and-
Right.
And I'm like, really, there's a 3-day pop-up shop? I didn't even know.
Didn't know about it.
But because all these people are coming in from someplace else.
And a lot of times, we may not know about the event, just like you said, a pop-up shop, we don't know about it, so we're scavenger hunt on the internet to try to find out more information so that we can get that information out even to locals so that they can attend something like
You
that.
should remind all of us in the lodgings business to feed that
Info,
information
yes,
back to you. Because,
right.
Yeah, that was a surprise, that in the wedding industry.
Yep, the wedding industry, oh my gosh, there are 8 wedding barns in Lawrence County. 8.
And they're really busy in October.
And they're very busy. That was one of our blogs, was about the different wedding barns. But like Rowena's talking about, bed and breakfast, Airbnbs, that has taken off like you wouldn't believe in the last year and a half. It's unbelievable. Most of their tax from those Airbnbs, you don't pay directly to the county, do you? You pay the state, you pay the county, okay. A lot of them will do through Airbnb online, and they let them take the tax out, and then they send it to a place in Indianapolis, it's called Marketplace, and then the Marketplace sends it back to the county, which is fine, but it's just a little confusing. Yeah,
You mean
you
you're
can.
getting it from me twice?
No, we don't get it from you twice. No. No, you've answered a question, no, and so you're paying directly.
No,
Probably.
I never answered a question at all.
Yeah.
It- Anyway, this is a separate.
Yeah.
It was my understanding that Airbnb didn't do the county tax, they just did the state tax.
Yeah, well, there's a way you can sign up for it, for them to pay this at state. Yeah, it's called Marketplace.
I gotta find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired of
Yeah,
sitting in a-
and it's just all because all these people have come to town for Lehigh, and they're all looking for lodging or a home or a place that they can stay long-term. I had a gentleman in my office on Monday from Paducah, Kentucky. He's been assigned here for the next year and a half. Wanted to know if I knew of any housing. We keep a list in our office. Gave him the list, and then he called me back and he said, well, none of them are furnished. Well, no. But I said it'd be really easy to do, but he was looking for more something furnished. So I sent him to an Airbnb that might be able to talk with him and, let him stay there long term. Yeah. So, yep. And it's really, once we've added the Hampton Inn, we're over 400 rooms in the county. Most of that 400, most of those rooms are of what I call corporate rooms, meaning Hamptons, Holiday, Quality Inn, Super 8, that kind of thing. Yep.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Of the 19% increase that you got between 2019 and now,
Uh-huh.
How much of that is due to the new Hampton Inn, or you're looking at occupancy rates as opposed to?
That 19%, it would be in my marketing plan where I see people coming to our websites and stuff. As far as tourism, we're not seeing the influx yet of Hampton because they pay in the rears, and their first month actually open was in October. Yeah, so I'll know that by tomorrow, how much that has affected things. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I thought it would be great for you just to have a special map for motorcyclists
Okay.
who love this area.
Okay. It's funny you say that because I had a motorcycle group come in. There was about 5 of them, and they were part of a bigger group looking at the area. And I rode a motorcycle as a kid, and I still have my license, but I don't ride anymore. They were so upset with 450.
Oh,
So can you kind of enlighten me on that? Is it because there's gravel on it, off the edges coming onto the road?
depends on where they're at on 450. Probably on the other side of Williams.
Okay.
Western Williams, that's kind of a rough
Okay.
area.
Yeah, he wanted me, he said, well, can't you get your county to sweep the road? And I'm thinking, well, first off, that's a state highway. And they're not even mowing the right-of-way, so I kind of doubt that I'm going to get them to sweep the road.
Tanya, we have to cut you off.
Okay,
Shows how
all
much
right.
interest there is in this subject.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, thank you. Oh,
17th, Friday the 17th.
Ray, we're gonna adjourn. Everybody can go put their name on that list. Come up here and get a picture and then go back to work, okay? The things we think, say, and do as Rotarians. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And is it fun? Thank you. See you at the PAC next week.